Okay.
Good afternoon and welcome to the meeting of the Parks, Arts and Community Services Commission for Thursday, July 22nd. We'll call the meeting to order at 4:01. And might I ask Commissioner Dorn Parker to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yep. I'm going to turn off my video. If you can please stand or whatever and put your hand over your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Will you call the roll, Sylvia?
Yes, thank you. Vice Chair Rutherford.
Present.
Commissioner Glab. I show Commissioner Glab absent.
Thank you.
Commissioner Villarta. I show Commissioner Villarta absent at the moment. Commissioner Dorn Parker.
Here.
Thank you. And Chair Ashendorf.
Here.
We have 3 commissioners present, which is enough for the meeting to go forward.
Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is approval of the minutes of June 24th. Is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on this item?
If you'd like to make a comment on the minutes, if you'd like to raise your hand, I can bring you into the meeting. I show no, oh, I do. I have Bob. Bob, if you'd like to go ahead and speak. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Bob.
I wanted to speak under public comment, and
Oh,
so
all right.
I may
Mr.
have raised my hand too quickly.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll take you out.
All right, Sylvia, there is no one?
Yeah, no public comments for the minutes.
Thank you very much. We'll close public comment. Do we have any comments from the commissioners or a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 24th, 2021 meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Dorn Parker. Second? I will second that. So it's been moved by Commissioner Dorn Parker and Chair Asendorf second. Call for the question, please.
Thank you. Vice Chair Rutherford.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorn Parker
Yes.
and Chair Ashendorf.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 3-0.
All right. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is public comments, and public comments are limited to 3 minutes on items not on tonight's agenda. Do we have public comment? Miss Sylvia?
Yes, I have a hand showing. Let me bring that person in.
Thank you.
Bob, would you like to speak? Go ahead and unmute.
I thought Donna was going to be on, Donna Stapleton. I'm vice president, or the former president of the Friends of the Library. And we would like to talk about a project of the installation of musical instruments at Dungan Library. We think that would be an enhancement to, a number of city enhancements in Lions Park. Donna was going to talk to you about the particulars of the project, but our real need is to figure out how to get on an agenda. I believe when we installed when we purchased and the city installed the musical instruments at Mesa Verde Library, staff wrote a report, determined that would be the case. Then we met with the with city staff and we figured out a location. the instruments were purchased by the Friends of the Library, shipped to the city, and then they installed them. And you all have probably seen them. We met with Jason Minter at the Norma Herzog dedication and Lion Park dedication recently to ask about how to get this process started. And he recommended we come to speak in public comment, like I'm doing now. We're looking at a different version of instruments to be installed. And we're just looking for guidance on how or if this project is, if we can interest the city in this project, probably in a similar manner to what we did at Mesa Verde Library.
Thank you, Mr. Uten. Ms. Villasenor, is there some guidance that you can offer Mr. Uten?
I can check around and to see what the process would be, and then I can get back to you.
Okay. You probably have my contact information, but you want me to send it to you, Monique?
Yeah, Bob, you can go ahead and we can email each other offline so we can find out how we can go about that process.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other comments, Sylvia?
Yeah, it looks like Donna Stapleton. So
right.
Donna, go ahead. You can speak now. Donna, you're in the meeting. If you can unmute yourself.
Welcome, Donna.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here with all of you. I am the current president of the Friends of the Costa Mesa Libraries, although Bob and I are sort of joint presidents. In 2018, after a trip to Wisconsin, I brought back the idea of installing outdoor musical instruments at our new library. Unfortunately, the contracts were in place for the library in Lions Park, and so we missed our chance to do it. At that time, the Friends Board decided to install 4 musical instruments at the Mesa Verde Library. At that time, we came to the Parks and Rec Commission and Cultural Arts Committee or Commission and met with Mayor Foley, and everyone was enthusiastic about the project. With everyone's blessing, we began our fundraising campaign because we didn't want to spend money that we have raised for the library. So we wanted to do it separately. Let's see. So we raised almost $20,000 to purchase the 4 instruments. We had 56 donors and the donations ranged from $10 to $5,000. The city installed them and did a stellar job. And in May of 2019, we had our ribbon cutting and grand opening. These instruments are well used and well loved at Mesa Verde. And librarians tell us that when people are playing the instruments, they open the doors so that the music can come into the library. Now we're back, hoping to get approval to install 6 outdoor musical instruments at Donald Dungan. We've selected a grouping of 6 instruments that will complement the unique architecture of the library and be a wonderful addition to Lions Park for families in our community, the City of the Arts. These instruments would be available daily and year-round and are designed to be played by people of all ages and all skill levels and people with special needs. The best thing is, at least for me, there are no wrong notes. Playing music is fun, confidence building, encourages creativity and self-expression, can reduce stress and elevate people's moods. And who doesn't need that? In addition to making people happier and healthier, the instruments will draw people to the library and to Lions Park. So I had sent Sylvia some slides, I don't know, her photos. I don't know if she was able to get them to share with you.
We did receive those, Ms. Stapleton.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I guess we're hoping to find out what process we should take to go through the process that the city has for approval of this project, and so we can begin our fundraising.
Perfect, thank you. And you may have missed Ms. Villaseñor's comments a few moments ago and direction to Mr. Uten. She will be in contact with both of you and advise you on the next steps, all right?
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak, Sylvia?
Anybody else would like to make any public comment? Please raise your hand. No, not at this time, Chair Ashendorf.
Thank you very much. Then we'll close public comment and move on to new business. Donation of memorial bench and plaque at the Bark Park. Mr. Ryan.
Are we skipping the commissioner comments?
Oh, well, no, we're not. Thank you very much. I was excited.
Sorry. I'm excited too.
Okay, all right, let's start. Let's take a restart. All right, Vice Chair Rutherford, do you have any comments for us this afternoon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd be fine with skipping comments. I'll try to be as brief as possible. Thank you, Bob and Donna, for joining us tonight. I fondly remember the installation at the Mesa Verde Library. I think it's a beautiful complement to the library there. So I would love to see the same at the new library in West Side. Monique, that was done under the previous department director. So may have to dust off some old agendas to look at that. But I think if you and Jason could follow up with them, it would be wonderful to see if we could get that in motion. So I appreciate you being able to do that with them. And I just wanted to send my thanks and appreciation and for the gratitude to all of city staff, you know, and echo what was said at the State of City address, and then at the opening ceremony this weekend, the completion of several major city projects that have been years in the undertaking, long before my time, but I've been here to see the last bit of it. So it's a very exciting time to be in Costa Mesa and here with you all. So thank you. And congrats, Madam Chair, for your recognition at Tuesday's council meeting as well. That was awesome.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioner Dorn Parker.
Yeah, again, I want to just commend the city staff. I was at the event for the unveiling of Lions Park and of the dedication of Norman Herzog. I've been in the community a long time. I actually attended Norma Herzog's preschool. So my mom was thrilled that we had a lot of siblings, thrilled to hear about Norma's dedication and that she was still alive and with it to understand the honor. It's you cannot you can't overstate her value in the community starting from the 60s forward. Wonderful participation. I was been wandering by Lions Park, you know, throughout since that time, and I have to tell you, it is incredibly used. The choice of playground equipment, seeing the families, it's ADA available. I want to commend everybody on the design and the plan. It's just what revitalized and to keep the plane, as we all called it, the airplane park. And I remember playing on it when it was actually an airplane. So not as safe as it is now, but it was certainly fun at the time. And then the other part is there was a couple people there who were saying we should probably think of something to put up there so people could take selfies, you know, and they were talking about the wave and see whether we want a surfboard. So I may be working with staff because I love these ideas of having these distinct areas where you could take selfies and post social media. So it really gives a lot of credence and publicity free to this amazing resources that have been in the planning for years, and it's wonderful. The other thing I want to make the commissioners aware of, I'm working with some community members at Harper Park. They're interested in seeing how we can sort of re-engage and maybe public-private partnerships to figure out what we could do. It's a very well-used park, and it's in partnership with the school district. So there's just a lot of discussion. So I'm keeping that going. I'm meeting these wonderful families and engage community members at the park to really see what's needed. And I love the idea of musical instruments as a cellist. I cannot advocate enough for putting music in the hands of young people and old alike. So that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. I do have a few comments. First, just to tag along with the event on Saturday, which was marvelous. My husband and I stayed around late into the night and ate from a food truck and watched as throes of people walked to the park and sat in front of the screen to watch Charlotte's Web. And while we had some technical difficulties, it was a great night to be out at Lions Park all day long. So thank you and kudos to all of you. In case you haven't followed it closely, Costa Mesa Little League ages 9, 10, and 11 have just soared through the championships this summer. And my husband and I were able to see a finals at Aliso Viejo on Sunday. They have been doing a masterful job, and you'll hear more about the finals, I'm sure, in the next couple of days as they continue to play on. I did want to acknowledge the efforts of muralist Josh Madrid and committee member from the Cultural Arts, Selena Mendoza, who worked tirelessly for hours to update the mural at the T. Winkle Park. That is now a beautifully restored mural. And Miss Mendoza was also responsible in submitting to us a maintenance plan for our murals to protect our murals in the future, which we're really excited to have that as a document to move forward. I'm hoping that the staff can provide us with some information on facility rentals. One of the good things about Saturday was everyone was excited and wanted to know, when can we get back into our facilities to rent them, and when can we use Norma Herzog Community Center? So I'm sure staff will be able to share with us later. Also, I was asked by several people, will we be able to have our commission meetings in person? So just want to express that on behalf of everyone. And I know you have to make appointments to get into City Hall, but if you're there, please look at the Youth Art Gallery in the lobby. We have art on display from our youth programs throughout the city, and it's a delightful summer theme. So thank you very much. All right. The next item on the agenda is new business. Let's try that again. Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Chair Ashendorf. Good evening, Commissioners. The next item before you is a request for donation of a bench and memorial plaque to be located in a small dog park area at Bark Park. One important correction to my report is that the last name is Jesse Miller. Last name is Miller, not Troy. I apologize for the mistake and any confusion there. Public Services Department is in receipt of a request from Mrs. Winifred Troy, who is the mother of Jesse Miller, requesting permission from this commission to donate a bench and memorial plaque to be installed in the small dog park area. I'm sorry, I actually have a presentation to go with this if I can share my screen. There we go. There's language to the plaque. We'll read in memory of Jesse Miller. A little background. Jesse grew up in Costa Mesa and Newport Beach area, attended school in the area. He loved his dog, Sammy, and they both enjoyed visiting Bark Park on a regular basis. Ms. Troy has taken over care of Jesse's dog, and she continues the tradition of visiting Bark Park with Sammy. A bench and a plaque at the park would provide a spot for Ms. Troy to sit and think of Jesse while Sammy gets to enjoy the wonders of Bark Park. We provide some photos, and we're able to agree upon an ideal location for this bench. It's indicated on the star in a large map here. This is a representation of the bench that will be in place. It'll have a back and the plaque in the back side of the bench. It's similar to other benches that are located in the large park area. Some of those don't have a backing. They just don't, because they can face either direction. This one has the advantage of facing in one direction, so we'll have a nice back to it with a wonderful plaque installed. Here's a depiction of the location. It's this cement pad on the arrows. And again, it'll face out into the plaque, into the park. Staff has reviewed the suggested location, determined that the location is ideal for the donated bench and plaque. The installation of the bench and plaque will have minimal fiscal impact on the city. The donor incurs the cost of both the bench and the plaque. The submitted request does meet the requirements set forth by City Council policy. Therefore, it is recommended that the commission approve the request from Ms. Troy for the donation of memorial bench and plaque. That concludes the presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
All right. Thank you very much for that well-presented information, Mr. Ryan. Are there specific questions before we open it up to public comment? All right, seeing none. Sylvia, do we have a member of the public speaking tonight?
I believe the applicant is here. Yeah, there she is. Let me, where'd she go? Okay. Ms. Troy, if you would like to speak.
Yes, thank you. I was curious because in my community, we've had benches on order for like 3 months. Is it a problem to actually get a bench?
Would you like to respond to that, Mr. Ryan?
I can, yes. It shouldn't be an issue. There are some items are on back order. We have recently placed another memorial bench, and there wasn't an issue getting the bench.
Great.
Of course, things in this day and age are fluid, so we'd have to check on that, but it shouldn't be too bad of a backlog with that.
And can we say Jesse A. Miller, he liked to use his middle initial? Or do we finalize that stuff later?
We can definitely add the A there for sure. That's not an issue.
Okay. That's it. I appreciate it very much. Will be so happy to have a bench dedicated to Jesse at the dog park.
Ms. Troy, thank you for coming to speak this afternoon. And if there are no other questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
Also move that we approve of the donation of the memorial bench and the plaque.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it. And I just wanted to say thank you to the family for stepping forward to provide this benefit to our public space that will be enjoyed for years to come.
Thank you, Vice Chair. All right, then it's been moved and seconded. Would you call for the question, Sylvia?
Yes, thank you. Vice Chair Rutherford,
Yes.
Commissioner Doran Parker,
Yes.
and Chair Ashendorf.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. All right, the next item on today's agenda is the Park Ranger report.
I always forget, do you need a motion to receive and file, or we just receive and file?
You can just receive and file.
Thank you.
But we have to open it up to public comment first. Is
Yes.
there anyone here who would like to speak on this item, Sylvia?
Yes, I have one hand. Let me,
All right, thank you.
I have David Martinez.
Great.
David, please go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I am not surprised at all. There is another bike license citation, which makes the 18th since October. And I would like to say that this citation is at a new park. You've added another park to the list. Ketchum Leibold Park, address 2150 Smalley, apparently. is the latest park to get a bike license citation. And surprising no one at all, it is also on the west side, along with all of the other parks, which have had a bike license citation since October. I don't know how many times I can say this. It's just annoying me at this point. Talbert has 10 citations, Canyon has 2, Fairview has 1, the Joanne Trail has 3, the Senior Center has 1, and now Ketchum-Leibold has 1. The only thing that would be less surprising to me is if it was Shalimar Park that got the citation and not Ketchum-Leibold, but here we are. Anyways, I just hope that the city council eventually gets the Bikeway and Walkability Committee memo so that we can remove bike licenses from the municipal code, and so that I don't have to show up here every month and mention this. Thank you.
Thank you for speaking this evening, Mr. Martinez. Is there anyone else, Sylvia?
I see Vice Chair Rutherford.
Yes, I see him too. All right, then we will close public comment, and Ms. Vice Chair Rutherford, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to thank Mr. Martinez for his comments. I think we all very much appreciate public engagement at our meetings. I and others have brought this up to city staff as well. I think other members of this commission too, offline and connected with staff about this. They have informed us that it is not really under the jurisdiction of our commission to provide a recommendation on this. It's more so in the realm of the Bikeway and Walkability Committee, which Mr. Martinez does sit on. So I appreciate that they've made a recommendation in that regard to the council.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. I'd like to, if there are no other comments, move to receive and file the report. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Rutherford. Call for the question.
Vice Chair Rutherford,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorn Parker,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Ashendorf.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 3-0.
All right. The next item on our agenda is Parks and Rec Community Services Director's Report. Ms. Villasenor.
Thank you, Chair Ashendorf and Commission. I'm going to start my section real quick with thanking Chair Ashendorf. On Tuesday night, she accepted the proclamation that we submitted for the Parks Make Life Better month for the month of July. And she read a wonderful poem that has now been posted on our social media, and we're hoping to get printed. It was very good. I was very impressed. So thank you for doing that and accepting our proclamation, which actually wasn't at the meeting, but I wanted to show you that we do have it here. So it's signed and we have it in person now. So Chair Ashendorf, I will be sending you this proclamation, but I just wanted to reiterate, thank you for accepting there and being there and reading that wonderful poem. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go online and read it. It was very creative and clever. Going on to the director's report, I just wanted to say, a lot of this is, we opened a ton of programs. The senior center is getting up and running. There's seniors in there. They're having meetings. They're playing pool. They're having movie nights. So that's all wonderful. Our SMART camp actually just ended. And that was a huge success. We had 200 plus participants with kids in that program. Camp programs are halfway through. So it feels like we rushed to get summer programs open, and now we're halfway done, and we're now in the midst of planning fall back to school programs. So it feels like it just is all a blur, but we're happy to be open as compared to last summer. So swimming is underway. We started our adult sports again, so basketball and softball all at the field and at our downtown recreation center. Field permits are continuing to be allocated. We had our field allocation meeting on June 9th. It's like Jason always says, you know, it's weird to be talking about June when we're so far into July, but you know, a lot has gone on. The Chargers training camp is starting, you know, they've already moved in and that's starting in a week and a half. So we're excited to get them going. A couple of things just to review. We had our drive-in movie at IKEA. That was a great partnership for us to have. The people at IKEA were very thankful to have their assistance. That was a very fun night. And then, you know, we have in the report upcoming events, but we just kind of have them. So that, thank you all for attending the grand opening and the ribbon cuttings. It was a very fun day. I want to thank, you know, a lot of people got thanked. The city manager's department did a lot of work, and our parks and rec staff had a long day that day. Some of them were there at 7 a.m. and some of them didn't leave until 11 p.m. that night because we had the movies in the park. We showed Charlotte's Web. It was a great kind of day just to culminate all the excitement and the openings of the playground and the Norma Herzog Center. The Read It, Watch It series, we partnered with the library, so that was really fun. With the new center, we have been getting a lot of phone calls for facility rentals. We're gearing up. I know that we just opened the center, so now we got to staff it, and so that's been right the theme of all summer is getting our programs and getting the staff to run them. So we're working really hard on that, trying to get the right staff in there and to get these rentals up and going. So we're hoping by September that we can start accepting some of these requests. We do have an ongoing list, so we are keeping track of the people who are calling and inquiries. So once we get that going, we'll be calling all those people and letting them know and trying to get them, you know, into the new center and figuring out a way for them to do rentals. So we're excited about that. We have our pop-up pet adoption event that we partner with Priceless Pets coming up this weekend. So that's very exciting. We have a concert in the park, if you've heard. I don't know if you've heard. I hope you've heard on July 31st. It's going to be one for all time here, I guess, in Costa Mesa. 3 bands. We have food trucks, the beer and wine garden, a kids zone, a face painter, a dunk tank, I feel like you name it, we have it. I think we're really giving the OC Fair a run for their money. So that day. But we encourage you guys all to, you know, spread the word, get people out there. We want everybody to have a good time. First ever time that we're having, you know, a couple of these items at the concert, including, I don't know if you heard, but we're having shutting down a lane in front of the park as a bike lane. So that's a new, I think it was mentioned at the council meeting on Tuesday night. So, but if you haven't heard, that's very exciting addition to the Concert in the Park series. So just an all around good time. We're looking forward to a lot of stuff. And then we'll probably end up having a date for one more Movies in the Park, and we'll continue the Read It, Watch It series. So that way we can encourage this whole reading during the summer theme. And then we're just in the middle of getting started with fall programming. So, you know, our work isn't done yet, but it's all good stuff, fun stuff that we have coming.
All right.
That's the concluding of my report.
Okay, Ms. Villasenor, I do have a question for you relative to the fall 2021 allocation meeting that was held on June 9th. I'm curious to know who attends those meetings, who are invited to those meetings, and if we could get a representative from the commission on that allocation meeting.
Yeah, so we have a sports coordinator who holds them for seasonally, and normally it's the field user groups. So like I would say Little League presidents, you know, chapter presidents, coaches, AYSO coaches, anybody that's inquiring about, you know, for their youth group or adult leagues or any kind of club teams that wish to have field space either to practice on for a single game or tournaments. They come to these meetings to see if they can get fields allocated to them. So
if you could,
I'll make sure that our next allocation meeting, we'll send out a reminder that when the next date is, and you guys, anybody's welcome to.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Any other questions of Via Senor at this time? All right, seeing none. I do have one final question or comment. Because we were looking at the park bench, and I don't know, there were a couple of items that are under policy number 8004, including the Circle of Service honorees and procedures for volunteers. And I was wondering if it looks like that policy hasn't been revised since 2004. And I was wondering if the city publicizes the Circle of Service or those other opportunities where we could have some public engagement for our parks.
So I am only slightly familiar with this, Chair Ashendorf. I could look into it more for you and get you more information. I believe I was told that it was updated in the last time in 2009.
Okay.
But I would have to look through some files and documents and ask around. So let me go ahead and get that request for you going, and I'll connect with you.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Any final comments, commissioners?
Chair Ashendorf, we do have a public comment if you'd like to call for that.
Thank you very that officially, do we reopen or is this for Parks and Community Services? We will open the public comment.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
David, if you'd like to speak, public comment on this item.
Yes, thank you.
Director's report.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say, I hope the city really advertises the fact that we're closing down a lane on Placentia to really encourage as many people as possible to bike or to walk to the park, really. That way we can have just less traffic and, not as much need for parking. And the second thing I want to say is under capital project updates, it says the Paris Parks, the only amenity remaining is the installation of bistro tables. But I would like to say that at the March 25th meeting, I made a comment that the bike rack at Paris Park is way too close to the wall. There is not enough space for 2 bikes, really. So it needs to be moved away from the wall. And Mr. Minter mentioned that the bike rack will be relocated once the gate is installed. So I look forward to that happening. That is in the minutes for the March 25th meeting. So I look forward to the bike rack being relocated at Paris Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
And, we have Commissioner Villarta that just entered the meeting.
Welcome, Commissioner. Before we adjourn, would you like to add a few comments to our meeting at this time?
Thank you so much. None at the moment.
All right. Thank you very much then. Good to see you. If there is no other business to come before the commission, then we will adjourn to August 26th at 4 p.m. on Zoom.
So I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Thank you. And I will second that. And call for the question. Let's adjourn. All right. Thank you very much. See you at the park.